Royals Park. Multiple borderline calls leading to ejections. High-speed collisions producing subsequent retaliation. And plenty of excitement in between, resulting in one win for each club. Will they bury the hatchet or come out swinging in the series finale on Massey?
It's a great day for baseball.
It is family fun day at the ballpark. A lot of kids, big parade on the field before the game. Ian signing, how you doing, little guy? He's got his helmet. The 10,000 kids got at the ballpark today. And I'm telling you, folks, when I got here this morning, Rob Dibble brushed me back. That's the kind of weekend it's been around here. But it's been 2 weeks since the Nats won a series. It was on this field against the Orioles. Been a tough 2 weeks, and so maybe some tempers a little bit short, some frustration here and there, but you've got to protect your ball club.
Oh, absolutely. And I just think a lot of guys in that clubhouse are learning some baseball things right now, and they're learning against some tough teams, and the Reds, one of the better teams. They've had to play them tough. They played them tough in the first game. Then they had some controversy on this call right here. Desmond kind of gets pushed off the base by Roland, and Joe West comes over and overrules the safe call, says out, and that's when things just started getting fun, Bob.
And then Brandon Phillips rounding second. I don't think Ian Desmond impeded his progress. Zimmerman waiting for the ball, but the rookie umpire says obstruction. And then Jim Riggleman gets the heave-ho. And then, of course, the big-time collision at home place last night.
Yeah, and this is just hard baseball. But then you come back and celebrate, and that's not baseball. That's a little bit showy, too showy for a guy like a future Hall of Famer like Pudge Rodriguez. Miguel Batista doesn't need to be told to do this. That's protecting your team and your teammates, and you won't be embarrassed on a baseball field. So the bottom line is that our guys are starting to learn more of these baseball lessons. It's cold, hard facts sometimes, but you know what? You're losing a few games, but you're getting something positive in return.
And I think everybody learning a lesson. This is not a patsy ball club anymore, like it was said in the pregame. Don't mess with the nasty Nats. Now here's Bronson Arroyo at the age of 33, and he's been effective against the Nationals over the years. And then there's Craig Stammen. He's an Ohio kid pitching against his boyhood team, possibly battling for his job. Interesting matchup on a sizzler in D.C. XJ. It is a hot one in town today. The Nationals and the Reds in the rubber game of a 3-game series. It would be nice to have a day of baseball and not even know who the umpires are. We'll see if that is possible. The Reds lead the league in hitting, runs, and in home runs. They're third in stolen bases, and Joey Votto at .321, second in the league in hitting. He's third in on-base percentage, seventh in home runs, and this left-hander, who's overcome some injuries this year, having a very, very nice season in the middle of a really talented Cincinnati lineup. Craig Stammen, 5-9 career. This will be his 31st career start. First time he's ever pitched against his boyhood team, the Reds.
Yes, and he is a local boy that made good. He didn't grow up but 90 miles north of Cincinnati, and only twice start that game in the bullpen has he gone past the first 2 innings, Bob, without allowing a run, and that's 23 of his 44 runs. You can't start the game by melting down, so that's why I threw Iron Man in there. You got to get through the first couple of innings, give your team a chance. 23 of 44 runs he's given up this year have come in the first 2 innings.
Defense brought to you by Cisco Federal, a proud mission partner to the United States Department of Defense. And the Nats pretty much the same defensive alignment they've had most of the weekend. Willingham, Morgan, Bernardina, Desmond up the middle with Guzman, Zimmerman, Dunn, and Nieves. Angel Hernandez, 18-year veteran, has the plate. Paul Schreiber, Dan Bellino, and crew chief Joe West on the bases. Joe's given lots of guys the heave-ho lately. And here's Orlando Cabrera, the shortstop, leading off, hitting at .269. On base percentage of just .305, but he's always been a good hitter. Craig Stammen's had some first inning problems lately. But it's a Red lineup that does not have Johnny Gomes or Scott Rowland in there today. And there's a strike to start the ball game at 1:37. 88 degrees, chance of storms later. And very muggy at the ballpark.
Well, and I know what you said in the open today, Bob. I feel that all of the players, not just on the Nationals, any big league club, you should be fighting for your job every time you take the field.
That ball ripped by Zimmerman. And here in the first inning, Stammen's going to have a runner in scoring position immediately.
You know, when you step between the lines, you got to play baseball. It's not about just executing and I got to hit my spot here. It's feeling the hitters out, feeling out the players. And this is just a 92-mile-an-hour fastball that is just slashed down the left field line. These guys come to play. And the one thing you do respect about the Reds, they come to play, they're prepared. They have a lot of old-time guys on that team. And I mean old-time, I mean they're just going to play hard, rough and tough baseball. They don't have the best pitching staff in baseball, don't have the best bullpen, but they have a very solid team over there.
Miguel Cairo has been a player who's been a good utility guy for lots of ball clubs for many years. And the wily veteran immediately lays down a perfect bunt.
And I'm going to tell you right now, he wasn't told to do that. He did that because he's been around the game for 15 years. And you want to get that early run for your pitcher. You want to get that early run over in the Reds dugout. And that's something that, you know, we talk about it over and over and over and until we're blue in the face. It's just baseball stuff. Stuff you should have learned back in Little League. That you do whatever it takes to win, whenever, and you just do the right things, and hopefully you wind up winning that ball game.
And a great RBI opportunity for Joey Votto, who's driven in 35. Infield back, you don't play in this early in a ball game. Doesn't matter where they're playing. Cincinnati leads 1-0. You couldn't hit those 2 balls any harder than the Reds just did.
They were like 2 Tiger Wood drives.
A little straighter. And Brandon Phillips hears a few boos as he steps in. But we'll pay him the same compliment we did last night and also that Ray and Johnny did during the pregame show. He handled the situation well.
Yes, he did.
Jim Riggleman feels that he was probably told in the dugout that he would be drilled in his upcoming at bat and put your head down and run to first base. Don't know if he had to be told that. That was Jim speculating. But Rob, I think it was a great example last night of how if the bosses of baseball get out of the way, there are certain situations where the players will settle it themselves, and everybody knows what happened, and nobody has a problem with it.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. It's about the players policing the game. They know how to play it. They know what's going on out there. They know when a guy is showing them up. They don't need the umpires to be the judge and jury all the time.
And of course, Joe West, in his opinion, Batista hit him intentionally and threw him out of the game. Under the current rules, that is his right to do that.
Yeah, and years past, you used to warn both benches first and give a warning, which in my day was a $200 warning as soon as it was issued to you. And now they can just toss you out of the ball game. I don't agree with it. It's just hard baseball. It's the way it was played when our fathers were playing it and their fathers were playing it. You know, you would have thrown Bob Gibson out in a situation like that when he's defending his team.
And a high fly ball into center field. It's a high sky today. Niger really fighting it with the glove. It's cloudy, but a big glare overhead. It's almost like a constant twilight time here. The ball's going to get up in that sky and really disappear. So you'll see outfielders squeezing in toward each other, helping each other out.
I just think Major League Baseball has given way too much authority and power to the umpires, and they need to take it back. And I know Bud Selig keeps saying, I'm going to look at this, I'm going to look. I was watching the Yankee game after my son's graduation yesterday, and Gary Darling is screaming at the Yankee dugout. You know, Joe Girardi is asking, and you know Joe Girardi. He's not going to say anything that is very upsetting to an umpire. He's asking Gary Darling to make the pitcher on the Blue Jays stop in an extra inning ball game, and he screams back in the dugout. And it's just, it's getting out of hand.
Trying to pull an outside pitch, Jay Bruce. Guzman takes care of it. Reds get a quick run, and for the second straight day, they have a 1-0 lead early. They have 2 extra base hits against their pitchers. Ian Desmond is 4 for 8 in this series. He has an RBI, and he's second among rookies in multi-hit games. Comes in with a very healthy .274 batting average. Guzman 3 hits, Morgan 2, Zimmerman 2, Dunn 3 in this series. Willingham has a couple, Bernardina 3, Desmond 4. So the guys are getting some hits, but nobody's hitting the long ball at all. And here's Bronson Arroyo, who can be very difficult to center. He starts off Guzman with a fastball, but he's known for his big curve. But Rob, we've been told he's not hooking as much as he had in recent years.
Yeah, and that big curve used to get him in an awful lot of jams. He's got a big frisbee rainbow type curve, and it's off speed. But I said this Friday night, you had 3 similar pitchers in Harang, Leak, and Arroyo, and you have to be patient and let them come to you.
Angel Hernandez doesn't give him the call near the inside corner, 2-1.
They're not going to overpower you, but they are going to outlast you. They're never going to give in. I was listening to the game driving back down from Connecticut, and guys were swinging at. There's a nice hit.
And there's an extra base hit. Guzman hits the 335 mark with one. And just like the Reds, the Nationals have a leadoff double. Now let's see if the Nationals execute in moving the runner the way Cincinnati did.
Well, and Nigel Morgan should not be told what to do right here. He needs to know as a baseball player, that guy with no outs on second needs to get to third. Pitch, terrible location for Bronson Arroyo, up in the zone, and Christian Guzman made him pay. And that's another thing we need to start doing. When a guy does make a mistake, Bob, rip into it. You know, don't be sitting there waiting for a perfect pitch for you to hit. It may never show up.
That's a breaking ball that missed.
Yeah, but that would have been a good ball to drag down the first baseline, make the first baseman field it, and get Christian Guzman to third.
Niger did try to bunt down the first base line last night, but he popped up to the pitcher. Now he's got to make sure he gets the bunt down before he thinks about bunting for a hit. That's exactly what he does.
Good job.
That's well done.
Yep.
1-4 on the sacrifice.
Let's scout Mr. Arroyo. He is a charitable guy. A lot of his CD proceeds go to charity. I like him. Song and dance man, he is going to try to trick us a lot. Off-speed stuff, so he's going to dance around the plate all day. Team guy. 7 of his 11 starts, the Reds have won this year, and a solid choice. Since he became a Red, he's #1 in innings pitched and starts in the National League.
His CD covering the bases is sold at the ballpark in Cincinnati, and he donates half the profits to the Reds Community Fund.
Good dude.
Here's Zimmerman and a chance to tie the game. Ryan gets jammed, and that's a base hit. His 32nd RBI, and the top and bottom of the first mirrors of each other. Double, sacrifice, RBI single. Now here's where the similarities you want to end with Adam Dunn coming in.
Well, it's a jam shot. He's a big, strong guy. And sometimes, instead of hitting a rope in the gap or a home run, that's just as effective to drive in a run. And we need to get this big fella going, Bob. He needs some home runs. He's not getting paid to be a singles and a batting average leader.
Adam Dunn hitting .323 over his last 26 games, but it's not what you would call a heavy .323.
How many home runs?
I'll have to look it up over that time.
Many.
Probably not more than 2.
Yeah. So we need him to start nailing the ball over the fences, nailing them against the fences, and get some guys to circle the bases.
Actually, 4 homers over that time.
Yeah.
But none in a while. 15 RBIs. But as we've showed you with our graphics over the last week or so, he's hitting barely over 200 with men on base this year. Teams are pounding him inside, keeping him from extending.
Well, then move off the plate. I had a great, maybe 15, 20-minute conversation with Rick Eckstein today. There's 2 things you can't let dictate how you approach an at-bat, the pitcher and the umpire. You got to go out there and get something to hit and then drill it.
Adam Dunn strikes out for the 65th time this year. 2 outs. Cisco defense for the Reds. A couple of changes today as they put Lance Nix in left field for Johnny Gomes and the veteran Miguel Cairo at third base for Scott Rowland. Corky Miller, who's only played in 3 games, is their backup catcher, and he's in there today. Lance Nix had a pinch hit Friday night. Hitless night, pinch hitting last night, and he'll be ready for a drive by Josh Willingham. On the inside corner. Josh 2 for 7 in the series. Hitting .333 with 14 RBIs his last 14 games. There's nothing light about the .277 he's hitting. And again today, second in the league in on-base percentage to the .430 of Albert Pujols. Josh at .426. I don't think it matters where he hits home or road.
No.
He's that good when he's swinging well and he's healthy.
I think this would be a team, if we could make the playoffs, I truly see the Reds possibly being in the playoffs too. They just have a lot of similar players, guys that have been moved around, traded, given up on, and guys that just play the game hard, and they've been given an opportunity to play every day.
Willingham absolutely scorching one into the glove of the kneeling Brandon Phillips. A Sunday prayer was answered right there for Bronson Arroyo. Hit right at one of his fielders. Leak was just better.
Well, Adelano had a lot of good stuff last night. He was moving the ball in and out. He was getting some strikeouts by challenging guys up in the zone. And for a sinker baller to throw some really good pitches, and there was a strike him out, throw him out situation. Will did a nice job, and Will also did a nice job on the retrieval of that ball that was thrown over the head of Votto by Burnett by throwing out the guy at third base, but then the interference call negated that. I mean, guys are hustling, and said that's what you want to see. And there's a base hit right there by Lance Nix. You want to see guys hustling all the time, Bob. You know, you might be getting beat. We're not getting beat by much. You might be playing some really tough ball games, making some errors, but nobody's quitting on this team. And that's what you want to see if we're doing.
3 hits by the Reds already. I suppose that means Bernardina is going to lead off the bottom of the second with a hit tonight. So here's Drew Stubbs, 1 for 6 with a couple of RBIs.
Look at it this way. It's baseball. You're going to go through some great up times, some terrible down times. We've got to just try to weather the storm and keep playing hard.
Stammen throws it by him. And there are times when we see Craig Stammen muscle up and throw a pretty good four-seam fastball. You just wonder where that heater is on a consistent basis. Stubbs has warmed it up since they dropped him from the leadoff spot. Hitting .356 his last 2 weeks. They took Cabrera, moved him up there.
Well, I know you do basketball games also, Bob. You know, how often do they say, well, that's not a foul on the playground, or he's playing like he's on a playground? And you used to just play pickup games of baseball. You played hard, you didn't think about it. That's what you got to get back to. Just go out there and play the game.
This ball pretty well hit to right. Bernardina cruising for it. For his speed, that's an easy catch.
Yeah. He was actually out for a Sunday job.
Long looping strides in right field for Roger Bernardino.
This is a gifted young man right here. He's got a lot of speed underneath him. Even after a broken ankle last year, couldn't slow him down, and he just cruises on over. And a lot of guys sometimes have to dive for that play because they're not fast enough.
Do you know what Bernardino needs to do, Rob, to be really effective and a good all-around player? He needs about an extra 3 hits a week than he's getting right now to bat 260, 270. And the Nationals couldn't live with that because of his defense. They're going up hacking, and Corky Miller will fly out to Nigel Morgan, 2 down.
Well, a lot of guys don't get a lot of playing time. They're not wasting any time by swinging the bat.
They're hacking.
They're hacking.
They'll get Corky.
Yeah, Corky's a player. Not built too pretty, but he likes to play the game.
Well, not all catchers can look like Johnny Bench.
All right, here's the lead singer of the Reds band.
Bronson Arroyo. 15 and 13 for the Reds last year. This guy has pitched as many innings as anybody in Major League Baseball over the last few years. In each of the last 5 seasons, at least 32 starts and 200 innings. And only 4 guys have done that. The others are Dan Herron, Javier Vazquez, and Joe West's buddy, Mark Burley. Strike 2. And if Mark comes up a couple of innings short this year, Rob, it won't be a pretty picture. Because he was thrown out of that ball game in Chicago with 2 balks.
Because he dropped his glove? I still don't get that one.
Bronson Arroyo 4 for 24 this year. Decent hitter, 130 career. Stammen bounces one and Wilnievas grabs it cleanly.
Well, and even if Bronson's not the best hitter, he looks like a good hitter up there. He's crowding the plate. Got a nice colored bat in his hand. It's like a beautiful brown lacquer. Got the gloves on. He looks wonderful up there. He looks like, well, if I do make contact, it might go somewhere. Not bad numbers.
4 home runs, I should say not.
See? Look at that.
It was 0-2, then 1-2. And so one of the Reds bunted. The other 8 guys who were not trying to make it out, only 4 of them were retired. So it's 2 on, 2 out, and Cabrera coming up, who really hit the ball hard.
Let's see the replay. You don't see hitters or pitchers get too many hits. And that's just a nice swing, compact. Oh, the pitch is up. So the location was poor.
That is the 3rd hit by a Cincinnati pitcher in this series.
Yeah. Hey, you know, you can help yourself, help your team by that piece of lumber in your hand. You can't just go up there and be an out. The first lesson we ever learned as pitchers in the Reds organization in spring training. Bunting, being able to maybe scratch out a hit here and there, that will help you in the National League.
On the corner, 1-1. Marlins at the Mets are underway. The Mets incomparable at home, no score there.
Good spot. 1-0 pitch, right on the outside, Black with a fastball.
And the Padres have 3 early runs at Philadelphia. Braves are at LA again later. They're trying to win that series after winning last night. Atlanta 2 back, Mets 4 back in the East. Marlins 5.5, Nats 6.5 back. Starting on this Sunday, June 6th.
Yeah, but 3-7 on the road trip and 4 or 5 losses in June and only 3 games under 500. That's not the worst place to be Washington right now. I was telling you this off the air before the game. I mean, we'd be in 3rd place in the Central in the Reds division. We'd be in 3rd place in the American League Central. 27 wins. You just got to start looking at the big picture. And winning series was something we talked about in April. Get back to winning 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, and try and stay out of the 3-4 games and losing that in a stretch. Got to get back to we're not going to lose any more than 2 in a row.
Long look on 2-2. And just like the Nationals, bottom of the 1st, the inning ends with a laser at an infielder. Desmond the grab, 1-1 the score. the Association for IT Pros. And here's Debbie Taylor with our FCS Sideline report.
Well, how about Ian Desmond? He has 4 hits and an RBI in this series, and check this out, a .367 average with runners in scoring position.
I'm just having a solid approach right now. I'm starting to feel better at the plate, and I just feel like I'm waiting more in those situations to get a pitch that I can drive. Maybe being a little less aggressive in certain areas.
Jim Riggleman called him a real treasure today, and he said especially for a shortstop, the way he swings the bat is a real plus for the team. He also discussed the errors and said, it's part of the growing pains. Bob?
Well, you look at the last week or two, anything that could chase a rookie shortstop around the ballpark and kick him in the rear end has found Ian Desmond. See, I told you Bernardino was going to do that.
You did. And on cue, Roger gets a hit.
Now Desmond coming up, but it's just crazy. Like last night, trying to get out of the way of a base runner. Who goes from first to third on a wild pitch? So these lessons that he's learning right now and some of the unusual things that are happening to him, like 2 errors on 1 play in Houston in a 3-error game, those will make him stronger. But
it's just hard for us to stomach. Right.
Very confident.
It's hard for us to stomach. For him, he's learning at the major league level. I bring it up again because this guy's in the Hall of Fame. Robin Yount made 44 errors at short one year. They moved him to center field. He was an MVP at short and in center field. I mean, it takes a lot to be at the most difficult athletic position on the field, which is shortstop. He's going to make some mental errors. He's going to make some physical errors, but you don't want him to hold back.
There's that big curveball. Tough to keep the front foot in against that.
I heard Mike Rizzo say to his face, and he said it to me privately, he wants guys like Desmond going 150 miles an hour all the time. So for us to say, well, he made it. Yeah, after the fact, it looks awful that he made the 2 errors on the play, and he's making errors, but he's still one of the best young shortstops in the game. So at least we have him on our ball club.
I was chatting with his wife after the ball game Friday night, and I told her about the first time I met Ian last September when he came up to the ball club, and I went to his locker. I said, tell me something about you as a hitter that I don't know. Without hesitation, he looked at me and said, I'm a tough out. And she laughed, and she said, he would say something like that. The people that are very close to him know what a supremely confident young man he is.
Yeah, he doesn't lack confidence, but he also has humility. So he's a humble guy. He's just playing it all out because that's the way he thinks it should be played. So who's going to stop him?
4 for 8 in the series. That's a big curveball way outside. He couldn't reach it.
Well,
that's what Bronson Arroyo can do to a right-handed hitter. Call for the Luna double. Get your second room of fluorine free at 877-241-LUNA. Double plays by the guys who play base number 2. Brandon Phillips more than anybody in the National League over that time. He has won a Gold Glove, and his fielding percentage leads the National League. He's only made 1 error this year. Here's Will Nieves, who's 0 for 7 in this series, 3 for his last 28. Now, if Will walks up here thinking he's going to pull Bronson Arroyo, it'll have to be a mistake on the inner half.
Yeah,
so Will's a right field shooter.
He needs to take that curveball to right field. He needs to take an outside fastball to right field. And if he hits, he might be able to pull that sinker that he throws down and in. And that's the breaking ball. A little bit of a slurve.
Nieves, never been an everyday catcher in the big leagues. For the last 2 weeks he has been. That's called on him to do a lot of things. That's a good curveball. And the batting average down to 186.
Well, it's just a very nice get-me-over breaking ball. Hard to pull the trigger on that sucker when the guy's throwing 88, 90 miles an hour on the fastballs and some good change-ups. Got to subtract that one that you recognize is going to break and don't swing at it.
Runner going. And the foul ball. Bernardino had a really good jump that time. Now Rob on the field this morning before 11 o'clock. Bud Rodriguez was out there taking some catching and then later doing some running.
No, he's close. We spoke for a long time in the clubhouse after this workout, and he's close. The back's still a little bit stiff. You know, and he told me when he swung the bat that day and he hurt his back, it went and resonated all the way down his left leg. That scared him. And so when you're 38 and all of a sudden something happens that's never happened in your career before, you know, a lot of this is for precautions to make sure that this doesn't lead to something that can keep him out indefinitely.
Davis on a pop-up, and the ball caught in center by Drew Stubbs. 2 down. By the way, the tail end of that video, as Lee Cruz was walking off the field with Pudge, waiting for him over by the dugout were Mike Rizzo and Jim Riggleman. So the GM and the manager were both on the field watching Lee put Pudge through his paces this morning.
No, and he knows that he's needed here. He's watching the same stuff that we are. He knows that he's an everyday future Hall of Fame catcher. He's had acupuncture 3 times to try to alleviate the pain and hasten his return. But there's no reason to force him into action just to catch Strasburg on Tuesday. If he's not ready, it'd be better to have him out an extra week than have him out a month.
Stammen, 2-0. 6 for 20 this year with 4 RBIs. And if this game holds true to form, he'll single off of Bronson Arroyo here.
We said this 2 weeks ago. This isn't the same team without Pudge Rodriguez. And that just shows you, and Monday's the draft.
Not a base hit that time. It's up the middle to Cabrera. And the Nats are gone in the second. 1-1 on a now cloudy Sunday.
Off, they're just going blow for blow right now, and you see their top half. Double, sacrifice, single gets him in, and then we come up, double, sacrifice, single gets him in. It's Nigel Morgan. Great bunt right there, by the way. Won't get noticed in the box score tomorrow, but we need to make sure that he knows that was an excellent job. So Christian Guzman comes in and ties it. So, as I was saying as we went to break, tomorrow's the draft. We need a future catcher, and counting on Jesus Flores, you can't count on him maybe coming back.
Not sure what's going on with Joe West, Angel Hernandez, and Jim Riggleman. After that conference in front of the Nationals dugout, West on his way back to third stopped and visited with Dusty Baker. There have been no brushback pitches today after what happened here last night, so not sure what that's all about. Here's Miguel Cairo, who sacrificed first time up.
I think it's about Joe West, making sure we talk about Joe West. Let the guys play the game. They don't need you to be telling them how to play the game or how to speed up the game and everything else that he said this year.
And to the right side, Guzman gobbles it up. You know, Christian Guzman's only made 2 errors at second base this year. I heard one radio post-game announcer last night say that he's struggling defensively.
What?
Up until the game he had in Houston, Rob.
In right field, he's not the greatest right fielder.
He made 2 errors all year. That day he made 2 at shortstop, and then the fatal error in right field. But, you know, have somebody switch you to a different position and what you do and see how you do.
That's people that don't watch this team every day. He's shuttling in between short, second, right field. He's done an excellent job.
Guzman's going to take care of that one, too.
If I had to say who was MVP on this team right now, I'd say it's Guzman.
Really?
Guzman has been the best player for this team when Pudge is not in there. Pudge has been amazing, but he's out. But right now, or Josh Willingham's been fantastic. But to be as versatile as Christian and unselfish as Christian and give up your starting position you've had for 12 years in the big leagues to a kid and watch that kid struggle from time to time, Christian's been excellent. Yeah, he's got some warts. He doesn't have the same range he had 10 years ago, and that's what happens with age, but he's been fantastic.
Low and away to Phillips. Brandon hit the ball to center first time. Skied out to Niger Morgan.
Well, and I was going to get back to the draft tomorrow, and you know, 99.9%, everybody says we're going to take Bryce Harper, which I agree with. If the kid can hit, is half as good as they say he can hit, and he can possibly catch or play right field, you got to scoop him up. You got to go with needs. You got to go with your future, and you need guys that are talented, not just Strasburg, but you know, you just keep going in that direction. You keep compiling and stockpiling talent.
That ball hit hard. Bernardino right there. A footnote on the draft, and we'll talk about when we come back. Guzman will lead off. He already has a double today and 4 hits in this series. Guzman, Morgan, and Zimmerman. Bottom of the third coming up in a 1-1 game. Are now available for Steven Strasburg's debut on Tuesday night due to high demand. You can log on to nationals.com/debut or call 202-675-NATS beginning Monday, tomorrow at 1 p.m. for your chance to cash in. Some of these seats have contoured leather seating in a very nice environment, climate-controlled indoor area, Stars and Stripes Club access, and a secure private place to watch the ball game. So the Nats are trying to accommodate as many people as possible for the ball game on Tuesday night. Some of those $5 seats go on sale the day of the game. Those will go immediately. And a reminder that here on Masson we'll have a 60-minute pregame show starting at 6 o'clock with Nats Extra Tuesday night. And you can still get that new Era Flex plan where you get 4 games for the price of 3. So Guzman's 1 for 2. Here's Niger Morgan. who sacrificed his first time. And that'll be an easy fly ball for Drew Stubbs as well. Next up, Zimmerman, who has the RBI hit. Ryan's batting average now up to 314. His on-base percentage is up over 415. He's #1 in the league in slugging. And he's now hitting around 415 over his last 11 games. That's why they've been walking him. 3 for 7, yeah, with 2 walks in this series. Some very dark skies to the west and the north of us. Just saw a bolt of lightning over the Capitol.
Oh, it's coming.
Far beyond the Capitol. And Zimmerman into right field. That'll play for Jay Bruce. So Bronson Arroyo gets a 1-2-3 third, just like Craig Stammen did. It's getting dark at the ballpark. 1-1, middle innings coming. Front and center, Pudge Rodriguez. The Nationals honor them with great seating for the ball games and daily recognition. Not nearly enough, but every little bit helps.
No, and my son is going ROTC from Norwich University, so hopefully he'll have a military career ahead of him. Hopefully he can make the grade, as I told him.
First pitch swinging, Jay Bruce. Guzman again. Christian has handled 4 ground balls already, and the 4th inning is underway. We're getting a call on the smartphone. Trying to befuddle us once again.
Is that like the bat phone?
Here's the camera.
Reds history, 2 players to hit 2 home runs in the same inning. I have no idea. Must be somebody in the game today. For the heck of it, I'll say
no.
Jay.
I'm going to say Adam Dunn, former Red.
Ah. Yeah. I'll select one of the most improbable guys and take Jay Bruce. Just because he hit all those homers when he came up a couple years ago, and maybe 2 of them were in the same inning.
A couple of hits for Nix.
That's Nix off the bench. He was 0 for 13 before he had a pinch hit here on Friday night. So he has a 3 for 4 series going, and Drew Stubbs will be the hitter. Big time lightning just to the north of us.
Oh yeah, he said thunderstorms. They weren't like. That was kind of a cool picture of the Capitol. Black skies and lightning.
Somebody must have proposed lowering the budget.
Don't mess with the U.S. Check it out.
That's a look straight to the north.
It's a nice summer day. Humidity. And we just wanted the Reds to feel at home. You see a lot of this going on.
Chopper to Zimmerman. Guzman for one. First base safe. And Lance Nix really went after Christian Guzman.
And he got him.
There's some hard baseball being played in this series.
Yes, there is. And it's just good, solid, clean baseball. This is a nice takeout by Nix, but our guy, Guzman, stays there. He takes the hit. Nice throw to first. And some good hustle by Stubbs. Have to be able to reach the base during that slide, so
he was within that.
Yep, he was within that.
Now here's Corky Miller, who flied out on the first pitch he saw.
And on the Brandon Phillips Will Nieves play, there's nothing dirty about the play. It was hard baseball. It was the celebration afterward that you don't really take a liking to.
Yeah, let the NBA and the NFL guys stick to that stuff.
Brandon Phillips, I've known him for years. Good kid. He's a hard-nosed player. We would love him if he was on our team. But you know what? I'm sure somebody in their dugout or Dusty or whoever said, listen, you're going to get not only you hurt, you're going to get one of us hurt by you doing that. So, you know, it's not just you celebrating. You represent the Reds, and so then everybody thinks everybody on that bench is doing celebrating like that. You don't want that kind of reputation.
Corky Miller was hitting .282 in 31 games at Louisville when they called him up this week. He's 0 for 4, playing in his 4th ball game. 34-year-old veteran from California. They got him from the White Sox a couple of years ago for outfielder Norris Hopper.
He's got an old school 70s stash worker too.
Second tour of duty with the Reds. He was there with them from 01 to 04 as a part-time player. And Stammen has him 02.
Nice little, look like a cut fastball or a slider. 0-1, very nice. Started right on the middle, and it ends off the plate.
Runner at first, 2 outs in a 1-1 game. Drew Stubbs has stolen 12 bases in 15 attempts. Reds a good running team, 44 steals. They're 3rd in the league behind the Mets and San Diego. And this inning is over. Greg Stammen pitching well suddenly. Adam Dunn leads off the 4th with Josh Willingham, Roger Bernardino, 2 power guys and a speedster. Skies darkening overhead, some very ominous clouds as this one goes bottom 4. Dunn, Willingham, Bernardina. Outside to Adam, who struck out swinging. So Adam Dunn this year has struck out 65 times. David Wright, Ricky Weeks, Mark Reynolds, and Justin Upton more than that. Upton leads the league with 76.
1-0 pitch was right down the middle. Well, and Bronson's got a lot of different things going on. Arms and legs. Very deceptive. Got the hair flowing in the breeze. And so it's tough sometimes to pick up this guy just flipping it up there.
Look out, Dan Radisson.
Yeah, when he's bad, he's really bad. So when you get to Arroyo, you can hit the heck out of him.
Bronson Arroyo went 1 2/3 in this ballpark 2 years ago in August. Right now, Adam Dunn having a hard time with contact. 3 strikeouts today, Dunn twice. The Nats had 7 hits and 7 runs off Arroyo in an inning and 2/3. So that was one of those other extremes you're talking about.
Yeah, he moved a couple of balls away with the sinking fastball, and then he throws the roundabout. Here's this right in the middle of the rubber, the high leg kick, bend it, flick it, and you throw it in on his heels and strike 3.
That leg comes straight out, almost parallel to the ground before he bends that knee.
He's kind of an old school pitcher, like a Juan Marichal, just not as high of a leg kick.
And Willingham, who's been hit by a pitch in the series and been hit this year 8 times, barely out of the way of that one.
If you don't have amazing stuff, you better have something deceptive. Whether it's your delivery or, some big curveball. And at least this guy, every 5th day, you can count on him.
Willingham to the gap in left center, and Stubbs will run it down. Wow. Drew Stubbs got a great jump. And Willingham hit that ball extremely well. 2 outs. Now the Nats haven't had a hit since Roger Bernardina's last at bat.
Well, he waits patiently for the curveball. He scalds it in the left center field, but there's a Stubbs there. Stubbs, lots of speed in center field. So we need to start getting on top of the ball. We're hitting too many balls in the air.
Bernardina got one into right field first time up. Nats have 3 hits. But now 8 in a row for Arroyo. That big time storm moved right by us to the north. The wind is blowing hard, really hard from the west to the east, right out toward right field. A bolt of lightning right up M Street, about 3-4 blocks away. And the conditions are changing by the moment here.
And if you live that way, take some cover.
Yeah, that's some nasty looking stuff right up, right east of here on M Street. Out right now out toward RFK Stadium.
It is moving fast too.
With that wind it is. Here's a 3-1 to Bernardina. Nationals Park. It was sunny and hot, and now it's dark and cooling off a bit. Right here at the bottom of the hour, 2:30. 1-1 score, Nats Reds. Bernardina takes the walk. The Reds were heading for the dugout. They thought it was strike 3. Rogers on for the 2nd time today.
See this last pitch. Angel Hernandez missed one on Adam Dunn's at bat, and that one drops off the end.
Looked like a strike to
looked like a nice pitch, though.
So here's Desmond. Struck out on a big sweeping curveball. Some of the fans are starting to head upstairs that are not under cover. Raindrops start hitting the window. It is blowing hard right at the right field foul pole. Desmond, left field. It is up against the wall. Scoring is Bernardino. Desmond puts the Nats on top. And the only thing that kept that ball in the ballpark was the wind. Desmond hit that well enough to get into the bullpen, but it never was able to get there.
Well, it was so windy, as you said, Bob. It came back. Nix cannot get up and make this catch, and so that works perfectly for Desmond getting a double and Bernardino scoring from first with 2 outs.
After the walk, 2-out walk hurting.
That did hurt.
And now another runner in scoring position for Wilmy Avis. Having a hard time getting hits these days. Rain coming down. Will fly to center first time up. Good time to take the lead, by the way, when you're home and it's the bottom of the 4th. Andy Avis will pop it up to the left side. In foul ground. Catch made by Cairo. Nats pick up a run with a 2-out walk and a double and lead 2-1. Craig talking about facing his boyhood favorites, the Cincinnati Reds.
Brandon Phillips makes an out to right field. A little bit later, he hit Courtney Miller on the strikeout.
So Craig Stammen threw 39 pitches. Some of his best economy of the year.
Oh, yeah.
29 strikes.
Only 10 balls so far today. 70% getting it in there. That's very nice.
But, you know, for Craig, he throws a lot of strikes, but it's a matter today of quality strikes.
Well, he needs movement. I mean, his fastball, especially the 4-seamer, is just 92 and straight as an arrow. If he's not sinking it, he's going to get hit unless he brushes people off the plate. And you have to know that as a pitcher. Okay, I don't have the best movement on my fastball, so I have to make other pitches move. The curveball, the slider. But you can't have everything be very similar. You know, if he throws 88 to 90, his slider is 86, his breaking balls are 84. That's way too close together. You need more diversity. We're talking 76, maybe 74 on the changeup, up to 88. And that distance between the fastball and the changeup is what throws hitters off balance.
Well, the Nats can't get Cincinnati pitchers out. 4 of the last 5 at-bats, 2 base hits. by Mike Leake and Bronson Arroyo. He's aboard leading off the fifth. Well, today we're enjoying the Sunday Family Fun Pack. The ticket includes a seat for the ball game, hot dog, chips, and soda for just $14. Visit nationals.com/kids to purchase yours for your family. And the next one will be 2 weeks from today when the White Sox are here. White Sox and Royals on the next homestand after the Nationals go to Cleveland and Detroit.
Royals with your new head man, Ned Yost.
A man we know and a very good baseball man.
Shown the door 12 days before the Brewers are going to go to the playoffs.
How about that?
Oh, those are badass.
They talk about managers over managing. How about the front office?
The club hasn't been the same since. Cabrera hurt himself on the take.
Yeah.
You don't see that too often.
Did he go? I'm not sure the Nationals should bother to appeal until another week starts. This is not the week for appeals.
This is not our favorite umpiring crew. They're not really getting along with the Nationals right now. Not on the same page anyway, so.
Right side, they'll have to hurry. Not a great feed by Guzman. He set Desmond up for disaster there. And luckily for him, the pitcher was running, and Bronson Arroyo just peeled off. Another runner might have knocked Ian Desmond into left field. Steven Strasburg and Jeff Karstens for the Pirates on Tuesday. We'll start you at 6 o'clock. This is our upcoming schedule. The TV games coming up. The Bucks are here through Thursday, and then on to Cleveland for 3 starting Friday. Nats in 2 HD all week. One out. Miguel Cairo has sacrifice and grounded out.
Pretty good. Looked like a strike. Angel Hernandez is missing him both ways.
Runner going, base hit. No! Guzman says, not on my watch. That was a perfect hit-and-run swing by Miguel Cairo, and Christian Guzman took a hit right away from it.
Well, if this guy's struggling on defense, I'd like to see a guy who's playing well, because this is a great play. He's in at double play depth, which means he's not far back. He has to cut that off immediately. Ball was well struck right here. Runner in motion. Cabrera, there he goes. Good hit and run. No, swallowed up by Christian. Beautiful play.
But you know what the key was there? Desmond, even against a right-handed batter, was covering second base. If Guzman breaks with the runner, that ball's in behind him. So the Nationals switched off and spoiled what appeared to be a perfect hit and run.
It was perfectly executed. One thing they didn't count on was defense first.
And a ground ball to Guzman. Quickly go the Reds after the leadoff single. Halfway through the ball game with weather around, it is an official game. 2-1 Washington.
score of 2-1 as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. And I am joined by Mike Rizzo, the Nationals general manager, a very busy man, a very productive general manager in the last year. And just with Tuesday coming in, Steven Strasburg making his debut. Mike, did even you think that he would have this much hype?
Well, it's never, in my 28 years, I've never seen a professional player, a minor league player with this kind of hype and you know, people waiting to see him as this guy.
A lot of excitement tomorrow as well. You have the #1 pick. Is Bryce Harper your man?
Well, he's towards the top of the list. We haven't made our final decision yet, but we're leaning towards him. He's a terrific talent, and unless something changes between now and the draft, he's most likely our guy.
Before I let you go, I want to ask you about the umpires. There is a lot of craziness this week with other teams, with your team. Do you think there will be changes ahead with the umpires?
I'm not sure. That's more of a commissioner's office thing. You know, I think these umpires, they're the best officials in all of professional sports, the major league umpires. You know, like anything else, there's a human element that goes along with it, and we certainly know that these guys are really good at what they do, and you know, at times things get heated up, and you know, guys get ejected. So, but those kind of questions are up to the commissioner's office. I think they do a great job, but you know, there's always room for improvement.
Okay, thank you very much, Mike Rizzo. Bob, back up to you.
A footnote on the draft. This year, the draft is considered strong in right-handed pitching, but it's not considered strong, Rob, in position players at the high school or the college level. So that makes Bryce Harper a very unique player in the draft this year, because evidently there aren't many like him out there.
No, and behind him, 7 of the top 10 are slated to be pitchers in the top 10 of the draft. And Harper, obviously a catcher, outfielder, looks to be the #1 pick, and he's just a special kid. But after that, like you said, there's just not a lot of talent after Harper as far as the position players go. And you know what? The need in the major leagues right now is pitching. If you look at any ball club, and every ball club, it's some kind of pitching, depth in the starting rotation, some guys in the bullpen. So it's not easy to find offense and defense out there, but I think right now the need over the last 5 years has been pitching.
This ball down the left field line, and diving and catching it, Lance Nix. Robbing Guzman of a double. 2 outs here in the 5th.
Well, Nix is not the most fleet of foot guy. He'd probably be better served at first base, but he makes a great effort right there. He knows his limitations. He's got a big old glove on. And so a nice dive there to get that 2nd out of the inning. We talk about that a lot, Bob. The opposite field corner outfielder, when I'm on the mound, I want him cheating in, because if it's off the end of the bat, it's going to be a base hit every time. And if it goes over his head, it's going over his head anyway. That's my mistake as a pitcher.
2-0 to Niger Morgan, 0 for 1 to the sacrifice.
But yeah, no matter how the Nationals go tomorrow in the draft, you just got to keep getting the most talented guys, because say 3-4 years from now, Bryce Harper doesn't look like he's the future in the Nats. Another team may want him, and at that point, you might want to trade a guy. And, you know, so you can't have enough talent in your minor league system. I mean, look at Hanley Ramirez, what he brought to the Boston Red Sox. Brought them another championship. But look at how that worked out also for the Florida Marlins.
Out to short, Cabrera in a hurry, and the Nats gone quickly. On to the 6th inning. Pitchers matchup and a good one. 2-1 Nats. Guzman made last inning. Now, normally with a right-handed batter, the second baseman covers, and there's Desmond. There's Guzman. Why did they switch off, and who decides who covers on that play?
Well, normally, like you said, the lefty up there, the shortstop's got it, and a righty up there. But you know, Cairo is more of a guy like a Will Nieves that has a reputation for going the other way, so they decided we'll pitch him away, play him away. And even though you're supposed to stay at home as a second baseman, a lot of guys will get sucked in. That's why you do the hit and run, and it's basically called a run and hit, on the baseball field, because you're starting the runner first. You're trying to suck in those middle infielders to cover the bag, and then that guy hits it the other way into the hole. So it was a great job of Christian Guzman staying in his position to make that play.
On one pitch, Brandon Phillips is gone, top of the sixth inning.
But the key is it's communication, and it starts back in the meetings where you're saying where we're going to play these guys. It's Craig Stammen and Will Nieves telling the defensive coach on our bench, which is McLaren, where do you want to play these guys on certain hitters? And so it's great communication by our guys all the way up the chain.
Now when you sit at the ballpark and you look at the middle infielders and see them hide their faces and look at each other in between pitches with a runner on first base, that's what they're deciding who's covering second base. Nats worked it to perfection after the Reds really did it as well. They took a base hit in the first and third away from them.
Oh, my goodness, that Josh Willingham shot right at Brandon Phillips. There's no way that guy's playing there unless you've communicated that, listen, this is a dead pull guy, loves to hit the ball from center field to the left field foul pole, and Brandon Phillips was basically or essentially right behind second base.
2 balls and no strikes to Jay Bruce. I was about to say he's bounced out twice to Guzman. 2 outs.
Nice.
And the Lance Nix, who's 2 for 2 coming up. He's the only Red with 2 base hits, except for the pitcher, Bronson Arroyo. Boy, you can beat the Cincinnati Ball Club if you can pitch around their hurlers. Young Mr. Leak hurt the Nats last night, scoring a run after a base hit. Stammen's ahead.
I give Walt Jockey a lot of credit what he's done in the last couple of years with the Reds. Just bringing in the right people. It's just like we say about Mike Rizzo. You sometimes are always looking for the most talented guy. That doesn't necessarily mean he's going to help your club. Get some baseball players, get some guys who hate to lose, and that's what they've done in Cincinnati. And then they let a very good players manager rule the roost. And Dusty does a great job. He lets the men be men over there. Same thing with Pregame. Nice job by Mr. Rizzo.
And as we said last night, Ray and I had a conversation on the air. I think Walt Jocketty and Mike are very similar in their temperaments, how much they want to win. They're old school baseball guys who still believe in scouting players, not necessarily all the math and the sabermetrics and everything that goes with it. And that's one of the reasons Walt Jocketty was let go in St. Louis. There was a division in their front office, the numbers side against the true baseball side. And he lost that battle, and now he's doing a great job in Cincinnati. And they're both true baseball gentlemen. They remind me a lot of each other.
Yeah, and Walt Jocketty has a reputation of going after the baseball first guys, the guys who know the game, they know the little ins and outs and stuff. And Scott Rowland has had this reputation going back to Philly. He had problems with Larry Boa, he had problems with Tony La Russa, and whether that's true or not, you can't always say I'm not going to take that guy.
Niger Morgan cruising for that one. Craig Stammen should pretend every opponent is the Cincinnati Reds. driven in by Joey Votto. Kristen Guzman, a double and a run scored, driven in by Zimmerman. And then Ian Desmond in the 4th inning after a 2-out Roger Bernardino walk. Hit one off the wall at the bullpen to give the Nats a 2-1 lead. Here we are, bottom 6. Zimmerman leads off and Bronson Arroyo is ahead of him. Arroyo 65 pitches in 5 innings. Craig Stammen 60 pitches in 6 innings.
Most efficient by both men.
So Ryan 1 for 2 today and hitting .312. Never homered against Arroyo, who's given up 8 on the year. Because of the way divisional play is set up now, where you play so many games in your own division and then play everybody else home and home, there are some hitters just don't get to see much of anymore, except on tape.
Well, and that's why I thought Lee kind of had the advantage. I mean, you know Harang, some of our guys have played against him in the American League or over at Cincinnati, and then the same thing with Bronson Arroyo. But Lee's a new guy.
Check out the Nats RBIs today, Zimmerman and Desmond.
Well, that was a well-manufactured double by Christian Guzman, nice sack bunt by Niger, and then the jam shot by Zim. And then a little bit later, a 2-out walk to Roger Bernardino. You don't want to walk one of the fastest guys in the league. He comes around easily on that double by Desmond.
And if the wind's not blowing, that ball easily would have been out of here.
3-1.
There's Adam Dunn.
If he hit it to right, it would have probably been second deck.
By the way, Ian Desmond is the 3rd National to make it to 30 RBIs now.
He's fabulous. He made the best in this team with runners in scoring position.
Zimmerman has 32 and Josh Willingham 37 ribbies.
Gonna get this guy going.
Big time. Adam Dunn's been sitting on 28 since I think Monday in Houston when he hit that ball off the wall. Adam Dunn, 1 RBI since then. He had 4 on Monday. And then that's pretty much been it for the week, except for his double he sliced down the left field line at Minute Maid Park on Wednesday.
That's all you can really do with that curveball, especially when it's center in. And from the center in, and all you do is pull it foul by 100 feet.
Got him looking. Adam Dunn striking out for the 3rd time today. And that's number 4 for Bronson Arroyo. There's a Gold Glove, the Silver Slugger at 3rd base. There's a 100-mile-per-hour fastball and a number 1 pick coming. And for a limited time, that's what we're calling the New Era Flex Plan. Buy 3 games, get a 4th game free, plus a free New Era Nats cap while supplies last. It's a great way to see Tuesday night's game. All you have to do is pay for 2 others. Josh Willingham 0 for 2. Roger Bernardino on base twice and scoring the lead run. To Josh, 2 for 9 in this series. He's hit the ball extremely hard twice. weather tolerable here at the moment? Marlins now lead the Mets 5-0 in New York in the 6th inning, where the Mets hardly ever lose. And the Phillies in the bottom of the 3rd at home, leading San Diego 5-3. Willingham will pop it up out behind second. Now the rain's really starting to come down. Brandon Phillips grabs it. The Nats go in order. This game into the 7th inning. 2-1 Washington. Responding to some of that pressure that appears to be out there.
Well, and competition is a great thing. It's not just about Steven Strasburg. There's other guys that are going to get healthy, come off the disabled list. It's your job to worry about keeping your job every outing. You only get 32, 33 starts a year. Put everything you have into every start and see what happens. And so Stammen today, much more lively fastball in the low to mid-90s, about 93, 94 sometimes. But pretty much he's getting much better movement and first pitch strikes, and that adds up to right now pitching into the 7th inning, and that's all really Riggleman wants.
Drew Stubbs, Corky Miller, and Bronson Arroyo for the Reds. Two and one. Up the middle. Desmond to his left. Releases. No! He had a close play.
Oh, come on.
Paul Schreiber calls Drew Stubbs safe, and his speed has been a factor in this game, in the field and going down to first base.
Stubbs is a speedster. And this kid flies down the line from the right side. I have to get a clock on him here. It's about a 3.94 flat, but that's as good as a shortstop can make that play right there. Hit up the middle hard, makes the catch, not easy, gets it off, balanced throw, had a lot on it. And watch Stubbs right here just beat through the bag.
Looks like Paul Schreiber got it right, and Corky Miller is the hitter. And the way Bronson Arroyo's hitting, this becomes a pretty important at bat in a one-run game.
See, now why didn't Joe West walk across the field and overturn that call? He did it the other night on Friday. Just joking. Tongue in cheek. No. Seriously. Just let the other umps do their job.
And a ball popped up left side. It is playable. Ryan Zimmerman there. And a very important out. Breeze moving the ball around. The rain coming down. Here's Bronson Arroyo coming up. Let's answer our Reds trivia.
Barry Larkin, Adam Dunn.
Pitcher, Bronson Arroyo.
Two players to hit 2 homers in the same inning.
Aaron Boone, Ray Knight.
Ray Knight. Both in their own way, Nats or former Nats. Ray's a Nat right now. Here's Arroyo, 2 for 2. I knew Aaron Boone would be a good broadcaster, too. You're talking about personality. Adam Dunn will field the bunt by Arroyo. A little too slow down there. And it goes 3-4 on the sacrifice. Tying runs at second base. So Bronson Arroyo, a perfect day at the plate. 2 hits and a sack.
He's a good player. Solid player. 5th day he comes to play. I'm sure that they use him as a pinch runner, too, when they don't want to burn an everyday player early in a ball game.
Here comes Jim Riggleman. He's going to make a pitching change. Craig Stammen has pitched 6 2/3 innings and thrown only 66 pitches. He has retired Cabrera twice, but Cabrera's hit the ball hard twice.
Well, we have a day off, too, though. We have a day off tomorrow.
Everybody available in the bullpen, right?
Yep.
Stammen, one of the best outings of his career today. Even the umpire likes it. High demand, expected capacity, extra seating, plus some standing room here at the ballpark has been made available for Tuesday. Now the suites start at $95 per seat. It's a 2-seat minimum purchase. Climate-controlled indoor area with outdoor seating. Log on to nationals.com/debut or call 202-675-NETS for all the information you need. And you could have a sweet night at the ballpark on Tuesday.
You could also get the walk-up tickets that they offer every night. We have some $5 seats that will be available. You can walk up to the game.
I would do that early.
Yeah, those go quickly.
And the Nats are saying that about 1,000 standing room tickets will also be sold if there's a demand for those.
And that may be some of the best standing room only seats you've ever had. Because in center field, you're right by the red porch, the red loft. Stop in, get a frosty beverage.
And this one out to right center. It's hanging up for Niger Morgan. Bernardino's there, and he will call Niger off the ball. So it's 7th inning stretch time here. 6 stranded by the Reds. Craig Stammen will lead with a like never before. Ford, drive one. Do any of you have an inkling as what the pitching matchup is looking like for Tuesday? There he is, Steven Strasburg, Major League debut, number 37. He had a whirlwind day here. That's his first start for the Nats down in spring training. We all remember that strikeout. And then Jeff Karstens will pitch for the Pirates.
Former Yankee, traded over to the Pirates a couple of years ago.
And a special 1-hour edition of Nats Extra commences at 6 p.m. Here's Bronson Arroyo against Roger Bernardina, bottom of the 7th inning.
Every time I hear his name, I think of Charles Bronson.
And then came Bronson.
Oh, yeah. Death Wish. 1-7.
That guy was pretty good on a motorcycle. There's Roger Bernardina with a great swing to left center.
That was a great AB.
He's thinking double until Drew Stubb stops him, and he does. And Roger Bernardina has a perfect day going with 2 singles around a walk and a run scored.
You simplify. If you try to pull that ball, you put it on the ground right to the shortstop or second base. Right there, he stays at home, takes the hanging breaking ball and throws it in the left field.
You know, when you look at the pitcher-hitter matchup there, Rob, 2 of the biggest leg kicks you'll ever see.
Oh, yeah.
Arroyo and Bernardina. So here's Ian Desmond, 1 for 2 with an RBI double. Really hit the ball out of the yard last time up.
Well, and I love the Bernardina-Desmond tandem at the bottom. It's just you really miss Pudge Rodriguez hitting in front of him. And when you got that threesome down there, they can do a lot of damage.
Time given.
It's about 3:12. Oh.
And the rain pelting down again. I knew as soon as we opened our windows up here that would happen.
And that's where Pudge Rodriguez usually hangs out when he's not playing, not on the camera well.
High in the air, Cabrera. One-hander for the first down. Our copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Washington Nationals. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. Well, just when we thought the rain had gone away, here it comes again.
You're like a Creedence Clearwater Revival guy who'll stop the rain.
That's right.
What is it? Eurythmics? Here comes the rain again.
The Beatles, when the rain comes, they run and hide their heads.
Nice.
They might as well be dead. Not sure about that last part.
You play any Beatles tunes on your guitar?
Is baseball played outdoors?
Wow, I like that. My guitar gently weeps is one of my favorite all-time.
That was a George Harrison classic.
That guy could play with.
Will Nieves. Trying to bunt a runner to second base for the second out. I think with Will struggling here, Rob, 3 for his last 30, Jim Riggleman is treating this at bat like he's a pitcher. He doesn't want him to hit into a double play. He wants to get Bernardina to second base and give Willie Harris, about to hit for Storen, a chance to drive him in.
Well, and Will can handle the bat. It's just some of the swings he's been taking. He's not a power guy. So do what you do best. You're a slap hitter. Choke up on the bat, make contact, put the ball in play. I played with a guy, Jeff Reed, many great years in the major leagues. He was not a big power guy, although he did hit a bunch of home runs when he went to Colorado. He hit the ball the opposite way as well as anybody I've ever seen. He actually employed a guy named Top Hand, was the guy's title. He was a hitting instructor. And everything he did was just to work on hitting line drives over the infield.
That was a breaking ball that Will spoiled off to the right side.
And I'm sure you've seen many innovative contraptions in your day around the field. This sucker was like a aluminum bat and it had a weight in it, and the weight would shift. And if you used your top hand correctly, you could snap that weight and make the end of the bat ding. And he would swing that in the on-deck circle, and it was as annoying as anything I've ever heard on a baseball field. It would be like, ching, every time he swung it.
Well, Nieves goes out to center field. Hit that ball about 375 feet. Bernardina tags. That's as good as a sacrifice.
That's
Good
speed,
base running.
baby.
And I'll tell you another guy we give credit for that. How about the first base coach, Dan Radisson? I bet he told him, get back here and tag up, you can make it.
And know your arms out there in left center field, whether it's Stubbs or whether it's Nix. You got to know that guy can't throw you out. And that'll bring Brian Price out to talk to Arroyo. But
that's a nice piece of baseball.
That is. That's exactly. See, now Stubbs not thinking the guy's going to tag, and that's just heads-up baseball. So Dan Radisson, Bernardina, you get credit for a real good heads-up. Yep, Stubbs, that's a young mistake right there by your center fielder. Salami got the ball back in.
John McLaren back there making a change of the lineup card with Willie Harris checking in. They're moving the outfield around to a pull position. That was interesting as Billy Hatcher just stepped up to the top step of the Cincinnati dugout. He moved Stubbs and Bruce over toward the first base side of that line, and Willie will foul it. Willie Harris sure likes to be a first pitch swinger when he's pinch hitting. Can't really argue with the results. Willie is having some success. 4 for 13 as a pinch hitter. 5 RBIs. Bottom of the 7th, huge run sitting out there at second base. Fastball away.
If you're Willie Harris, know the guy that's standing on second base. He scores easily on any base hit, so you don't need to try to hit a home run right here. You just 2 out, base hit, get it through the infield, and life is good. We get an extra run.
Daniel Ray Herrera, the lefty. Nick Massett, the Cincinnati right-hander. Ronson Arroyo, 93 pitches unofficially. Wow, that's a hard pitch to call for a strike.
Yeah, that's the frisbee.
Willie hits that thing, it's going to go straight up in the air. You can't blame him for taking that.
But you got to have guts to throw this pitch. I mean, it's like Levine. You got to have a lot of guts to just kind of float the ball in there. And that was a high strike. But Angels missed more than a couple of his pitches today.
All right, you give the high one, you can't call that strike 3.
Yeah, and that was a nice 90-mile-an-hour follow-up to 76. That's what we talked about with Stammer. Changing speeds, and that differential between that 76 and 90 is huge.
And a changeup that fades way outside.
Well, you're seeing the kitchen sink right here. Arroyo's pulling out everything he can to make sure that he can keep Willie Harris from putting this ball in play.
Trying to get one more out to get his team into the 8th inning. Good hitter next in Guzman. 3-2 to Willie Harris. Breaking ball under his hand strikes him out. The Nats have only stranded 4 runners today. Quite a ball game. 2-1 Nationals into the 8th. pregame parade on the field. Free helmets for the kids. 2-1 ball game after 7 innings. Cairo, Votto, and Phillips for the hard-hitting Reds, and Tyler Clippard to try to get this game into the ninth.
I was in the clubhouse today. He was singing some country song. Off key.
Yeah, I was going to say, that couldn't have been pretty.
Yeah, good thing he's got a good day job.
Woo. Good pitch. Tyler, born in Lexington, Kentucky, went to school in Florida, and gives up a fly ball. Center field, Niger Morgan.
How beautiful is that area of the country? Lexington, Kentucky, and all the horse ranches and stuff. My goodness.
One of my favorite parts about the drive I make twice a year is going past the horse farms there with the famous white fences and those beautiful thoroughbreds.
Hey, I like to live in some of those barns.
Joey Votto coming up now, ladies and gentlemen.
State of the art.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful.
Well, we've thought about hanging up a feedback for you in here. Wind is kicking up again, as you might be able to hear. We've seen about 4 different climates today. Today's one of those, if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes.
It'll change.
One out here in the 8th. Votto and Phillips the next 2. Good call by Will Nieves, and Clippard gave him the fastball right where he wanted it. 2 outs.
Good call by Angel Hernandez, too. You don't need to ask anybody. This is a swing. And he rings him up, sits him down right here. Yeah, he did.
Lance Berkman went further than that.
You just can't stop.
I'm trying to let go, Rob. I just
and to his credit, though, I heard his post-game remarks. He did admit he went around him.
He admitted to
you know what?
Local radio guy.
I'm sure he's been rung up on some check swings.
Just unfortunate that it was the difference in the ball game.
I know.
There's Brandon Phillips, and Clippard's going to stay upstairs. And Brandon doesn't like that call.
You're back there, and that's not one guy you want to mess with. Let's see what's going on here. Tyler going back upstairs, and hey, he gave Arroyo the high breaking ball strike. So he's being consistent both ways.
Not that high.
A little too high even for Brandon.
Now the sun is out, and we're about to become a sauna down here. Nationals 2, Reds 1, top of the 8th inning. Cincinnati's out hit Washington 7-5. And a breaking ball misses low and away. Hard hitting Jay Bruce next.
Call me Bruce.
Reds without 2 of their big guns today. Scott Rowland and Johnny Gomes getting the day off. But as they get down to the bottom of the order in the 9th, we could see 1 or 2 of those guys.
Their changeup.
Yeah, that was
dangerously high.
80, low 80s there.
Yeah, you got to be careful. I've said this for 2 months about Tyler and the changeups to righties. Gonna miss low. This guy's got home run power.
2 balls and 2 strikes. And a 2-2. Pretty good battle now. Reds are heading home for a week to play the Giants, Royals, and Dodgers.
A couple of very nice National League West teams coming in.
And the Nats home for 3 with the Pirates starting Tuesday, then on to Cleveland and Detroit. Two, and the battle continues. Right now he's on Clippard's fastball, fouling it straight back.
Well, and Clipp's got a good breaking ball. I mean, you got to recognize what this guy's doing. He's on the changeup, he's on the fastball, he likes it straight. Try to do a bender in there, throw it down and away.
That was a fastball up. Racked right up the middle. So the Reds have the tying run aboard with 2 outs and Jay Bruce coming in.
Well, he battled off a bunch of fastballs and changeups, and then he gets another fastball up. It's not up high enough, and there's one good ball player there in Phillips.
Will Nieves wanted that pitch down. Jay Bruce 0 for 3. He's pulled the ball to Guzman every time. All of that against Craig Stammen. Craig's final pitch count was really, really good today. 5 2/3 innings, 66 pitches, 46 strikes.
Well, that's the impressive part. That is a very nice day for Craig Stammen. And I'm sure that Jim Riggleman said, listen, you got a guy on. Worst thing that can happen right here is a tie, and that's what you'd be responsible for. He wanted him to have a good outing and take that impression into the clubhouse with it. Then you've got your full complement of your bullpen because you have an off day tomorrow. I would give him credit for 7 strong innings today.
Sure. Another changeup. 2-1. Lance Nix, 3 good swings today, 2 base hits, and a line drive right at Morgan.
This guy's got a slow enough bat where he's going to be right up on that changeup, so be careful.
He is into every pitch. He's getting his mind is playing a major league game today. You know, Pudge told me that when he goes to Potomac probably Monday, he's going to catch 5 or 6 innings. He says, I think that's all I need. And then maybe spend a little time in the bullpen with Strasburg on Tuesday. But right now, Rob, he's playing this game in his mind.
He is a tough competitor. He knows how much he's missed on this ball club. What a difference maker he is. And I'm sure he'd love to also. He's caught a lot of, I'm sure, first starts over his career. I'd love to catch Strasburg's first start.
2-2 pitch. Even in 93 and 95, Clippard having a hard time making the Reds miss here.
You got to locate it. He's not locating it down and away or down and in. And when you're up in the middle of the plate, that's where these guys can smoke it. Now, if you're chest high and they go after it, okay, that's a bonus. But if you're in the middle of the dish and you're not locating it, they can hit that. And the changeup.
3-2. Now this hurts because you're up by a run. And the Reds are looking for an extra base hit, and now you've given the runner the opportunity to go on the pitch.
So you got to recognize he hasn't had a changeup today. So you scratch that. You say, you know what, it's not working. Hasn't thrown a good one all day. So it's a matter of, okay, what's working, what's not, and then I'll just stick with what's working.
3-2 pitch. Phillips on the move. And that within about 4 feet of possibly tying the game.
3-2 high changeup.
think what I've learned from you this year and last year, just because a guy's fouling off your fastball doesn't mean he's going to do anything with it.
Right.
So what, you don't throw it by him?
And you just don't want to get beat by a hanging secondary pitch.
All right, he goes after him with the heater, and it's in the air. Who's going to catch it? Guzman. 8th inning over for the Reds. They've stranded 7 today. Top of the order coming up in a 2-1 game. Weeks. Send your favorite Nats there. You can vote up to 25 times at nationals.com. Bottom of the 8th, time to buy an insurance policy on this game. Top of the order, Guzman 1 for 3 with a double, a run scored back in the first. Wind gusting up here at the higher elevations. We get breeze up here, they don't get downstairs. Might be jet wash from Reagan Airport. Guzman waited and waited for that breaking ball. They just couldn't wait long enough. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You think, who makes Frisbee whammo? So 73-mile-an-hour Frisbee there. He comes back, 90-mile-an-hour stuff. Amazing
last time
stuff,
the Nats saw this guy,
yeah.
Last time the Nats saw him, he pitched a complete game in Cincinnati.
He was dealing that day too.
7-0 Reds on a 2-hitter. It still appears to be Herrera and Nassett. Guzman leans away inside, not by much. Ball 2. Nigel Morgan and then Ryan Zimmerman in the Washington 8th. And he went off speed, low and in. It's hard to walk Christian Guzman.
He won't let you.
0 for 3 today, and this year in 191 at bats, 6 walks. And 2 of them were in 1 game. They put a charge into that ball, way out to center. It dives into the glove of Drew Stubbs. That'll bring up Nigel Morgan. Go to chili'sbaseball.com and you can enter to win a VIP baseball trip. It's all in the preparation at Chili's. And our thanks to Bill Libby of Chili's here in the Washington region for getting in touch with us and sending us some well wishes the other day. Happy with their partnership with the Nationals and Major League Baseball. Here's Niger Morgan 0 for 2 with a sacrifice. Severely jammed, and that ball got his leg on the way down. 0-2.
Like it hit him on the top of the toe, top of the shoe, right shoe.
I thought he might get jammed again. Those pitchers aren't nice. You know, they could throw one down and away out there.
No, sir.
Bronson Arroyo, 96 pitches after 7. He has an out here in the 8th. Morgan, that's a fair ball. It hits Joe West after getting by Miguel Cairo. Would have been a double anyway. But you never know. Squirting further down into the corner. Niger might have thought about 3. So the Nats have that runner in scoring position.
Well, Joe West getting involved in the play any way he can right here. Can't get out of the way of this ball that gets by Cairo. Flips the umpire. He's considered part of the play. So it goes over the bag. It hits him in the leg. Slows it up. Actually works to the Nationals' advantage because kind of went into no man's land between Nix and Cairo.
Here's Zimmerman 1 for 3 with an RBI. Fastball in there. Outfield respecting Ryan. Straight away and deep. In fact, Drew Stubbs is standing on the cut of grass that is a straight line all the way in to the batter's box. That's how straight away he is. And the count goes 2-1.
Big bad done.
Now Zimmerman wants to make something happen right here, but if the Reds are really thinking they may not take any chances with Zimmerman and take them with Dunn.
No, you probably bring Herrera in for Dunn, who's got 3 strikeouts on the day against Arroyo.
But my point is, if Arroyo gives up something fat to Ryan Zimmerman, considering how Ryan's going, that's not a good strategy. Right now, Zimmerman's the guy who would beat you. He chops that one down near third. Cairo plays it over to first. And Niger Morgan goes over to third after the throw. Will Arroyo face Adam Dunn? It appears he will not. Dusty just now popped up out of the dugout. That's a pretty good outing today. 7 2/3. To this point, 2 runs on only 6 hits. Dusty hasn't made the motion yet. I don't know, Rob. Is it hard to take out a guy who has struck out this hitter 3 times?
Yes, but it's also the right move for Dusty, who knows Herrera's a good left-handed reliever, left-handed specialist. But nope, he's going to go with Arroyo. And as I said before, sometimes you got to look at your guy and look him in the eyes and get the answer you're looking for. Must have gotten it.
Well, if I was Adam Dunn, I would take this personally.
Well, the guy has punched you out 3 times today.
But it is his former ball club.
I hear you.
He spins one of those breaking balls to Dunn, throws it in the dirt. You're taking a chance with a Niger Morgan over there on third base. Huge run, 90 feet away.
Well, 2. And they don't even have a deep shift. They have Cabrera, Phillips, and Votto all basically on the infield dirt on the right-hand side. No one is playing that 20-foot kind of rover back.
There's that frisbee.
Oh.
He gets a called strike with it. Adam doesn't like it. It did not appear to be a swing.
It might have been slow enough to cross from the outside to the inside on the plate, but that looked a little bit in.
Obviously not a swing. And Donald will go to left field, but it's way in the ballpark for Lance Nix. Well, another one-run game. Nats are used to that this year into the ninth inning. A left-handed hitter leading off, and maybe they want his changeup against Lance Nix. We'll see. Steven Strasburg makes his debut Tuesday night. Jeff Karstens of the Pirates, who has a career record of 10-18. He'll be making his 36th career start. And of course, Nats Extra Tuesday night begins at 6 p.m. A special 1-hour edition. Adam Kennedy plays first base to replace Adam Dunn. No changes in the outfield. And Lance Nix, 2 for 3, leads off against Tyler Clippard, who can neutralize left-handed batters with the changeup. He throws the fastball, missing low and in.
There's the changeup. Strike.
Fastball paints the outside corner.
Actually, this is a matchup of 2 former kids from San Diego. Karstens is from San Diego. So it'll be San Diego versus San Diego on Tuesday.
Swing and a miss on a fastball upstairs. Clippard's second strikeout. Here comes Jim Riggleman, and now it'll be the final countdown, it appears. So he wanted Clippard against the left-hander, Rob.
Yeah, it was beautifully done right there. Now you bring the closer in for the final couple of outs, and you know, sometimes when your closer's scuffling a little bit, you get him in for a quick save, and hopefully he can do the job here and get the final 2 outs.
Tyler Clippard gets 4 outs, gives up a single, strikes out 2. Very, very good job, and Matt Capps will be next. Here's our fourth drive of the game. Almost a homer. Only a big-time breeze kept it in the ballpark in the bat of Ian Desmond.
The very aggressive Ian Desmond put a charge into it. Bernardino, who has just walked with 2 outs, comes around to score, and it is 2-1. And right now, the Nats are 2 outs away from their 28th win.
Drew Stubbs 1 for 3 today. None of these hitters were faced by Matt Capps Friday night. He faced Nix, who got a base hit off him. Thus Jim Riggleman's move a moment ago. Cabrera, Phillips, Votto, and Roland. Difference today down to the bottom of the order. And there's Johnny Gomes, who's on deck for Corky Miller. Two and one to Stubbs. Right field, well hit. Bernardino, and he misses it. He was cruising for the ball and never got back.
I think he missed time to jump too.
Tying runs at second base with 1 out, and Gomes coming up.
Well, Stubbs gets a hold of this high fastball that was supposed to be a sinker, and that ball should have been caught. Just looked like he took a bad route to it, so he was late getting there.
This right field thing is getting a little scary. Bernardino, very capable of making that a routine play, but he never sped back. So here's Gomes with a tying run at second base. One of the most dangerous hitters in the league this year. He has pinch hit 6 times with 1 hit. 35 RBIs.
Well, you got to forget the guy at second. This is the go-ahead run for the Reds. You got to attack Gomes.
This game is tied. That quickly, this game is tied. And Gomes thought about going to third.
Wow.
Matt Capps blows another save. And his defense doesn't help him.
Well, that's a bad breaking ball to Gomes. Gomes looked like he was looking for a breaking ball right there. And he got it, and he smashed it down the third baseline. And there's a big turn by Johnny, looking to go 3.
And now in the number 9 spot, Bronson Arroyo finally done in this game as they hit Scott Rowland for him. You don't make plays, the 8th and 9th innings will kill you. And the Nats are finding that out the hard way this week. Boy, they're going up Hackett, aren't they?
Yeah, and just because one guy like Stubbs is late on your fastball and he hits it off the right field wall, you can't go away from your bread and butter.
On a ball that should have been caught.
Exactly. That ball should have been caught. And now you go breaking ball first pitch to Gomes, who's on fire, and he just slams a double down the left field line. So you got to stay with your bread and butter.
And the Nats did not have Zimmerman protecting the line there. Foul tip. Now, Matt
looked
Capps,
awful on 94, though. I mean, you got to think. Go ahead. What you're going to say.
Matt Capps did retire Roland on a pop-up to the catcher to end the game Friday night.
I said this before, and I'll say it again. Even if a guy hits your best stuff, it's still your best stuff. And you can't believe that everybody in their lineup can hit it.
Fastball up, and even Roland's not catching up to it.
He's got a wonderful fastball, and it's the same thing we say with Tyler Clippard, that when he spots his fastball, it's as good as anybody's in the league.
That was Cordero who jumped up in case the Reds take the lead. He would come in for the attempted save in the bottom of the 9th.
And that's a tough day at the office for Craig Stammen. Great outing by Stammen. He gets a no decision. Now you just want to try to win the ball game.
Nieves keeping that ball from going to the screen.
now he's seen about 6 fastballs in a row. Now it's time to change off. It's time to do something a little bit different. And if you make a mistake right here with a breaking ball, make sure it's down in the zone, going away from rolling.
Reds have out hit the Nats 10-6. 2 consecutive extra base hits here. Did he go?
Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you, it's not a good week for check swings in this ball club. Unbelievable. Can't get a call.
That's a strike. I mean, unbelievable. Not only did he break the plane, he broke his wrist. I mean, that's not a difficult call.
Madcaps had a hitter struck out last Sunday. Didn't get the call. Next pitch, game over. Lance Berkman, check swing. Next pitch, game over. Scott Rowland, next pitch. And maybe the game over. Madcaps gives up 2 doubles, a homer, and the Reds lead 4-2, just like a bolt of lightning.
Now he tries to overthrow a breaking ball that was supposed to be down and away, backed up into the zone, and Scott Rowland. That's what you do with mistakes.
Cabrera pops it up. 27,202 today. A lot of the crowd departed, and the ones remaining in shock here.
Well, it's a good ball club. You know, they're not right around first place in their division for nothing. And until you got that 27th out, you can't assume anything. Just got to keep coming and coming and coming. There was some chances to add on to our 2-1 lead, or earlier in the game. Didn't get those runs in, and comes back to haunt you here.
Cincinnati's going home for a week and a half. This will be some trip home for them, unless the Nats do something about this. Bernardina's there. 2 outs. And Miguel Cairo will be the batter. By the way, the Nats in the 9th, Willingham, Bernardina, and Desmond. And this is about to be a 2-5 week, with wins on Monday and Friday and nothing else. Top of the 9th inning over. A nightmare for Madcaps and the Nationals. Willingham to lead off, and the Reds lead by 2.
it's over. Never count your chickens yet.
No, Matty Cap's making some mistakes. Bernardine, a tough play. Should have been playing no doubles there. The ball probably shouldn't have got over its head. But we got to shut those games down, clip it through great, certainly scoring. And it may be a time where you eventually get off of Caps and go to one of those two. I mean, he's struggling. He's struggling big time.
So we'll be along with Nats Extra post game. Hopefully the Nationals can somehow, some way, either take it to extra innings or pull this thing out. One swing of the bat from Scott Rowland, the difference in this ball game. Let's go back to Bob and Rob.
And a veteran hitter to have coming off the bench. Rob, a breaking ball right in the middle of the plate.
Well, he was nowhere near touching the fastball. You threw a 1-2 breaking ball that you didn't get the check swing. You came back trying to make a better breaking ball pitch. You hang the slider, and Rowland kills it. But here's the moral of the story, that you have to recognize how the guy looks on your best pitch, not on your secondary pitch. And so you're blowing him away with 95, and then you hang 85 in his face. That's going to happen until we recognize the type of swings the hitter. Rowland's on fire, Gomes is on fire, and it's simple deduction, Bob. You think, how can this guy beat me? Well, a hanging breaking ball. Now, a fastball away to Rowland probably pops it up or he strikes out. But a hanging breaking ball, that's how you lose the ball. So you just got to deduce a little bit better and think of the outcome before you make the pitch.
Willingham, Bernardina, Desmond, Josh 0 for 3 today. Francisco Cordero, 16 saves for the Reds this year. He's blown 3. He pitched in the 9th inning last night in a full run game, gave up a hit but struck out 2. Roger Bernardina, a good day at the plate, but suddenly not a good day in right field. 3-1 to Willingham.
No, and you can't put it all on him. He missed one ball. He's made some great plays and gained sabers out there. That ball was still well struck. It's just, you have to think ahead. This is bad for Cordero to walk the leadoff guy. You got to look at how the guy's handling your best pitch. And although you went away for one pitch, that doesn't mean, okay, now I'm going to throw him another slider and I'm going to trick him right here. Rowland's too savvy for that. That whole bench is way too savvy for that stuff. And you saw what Gomes did to his breaking ball down the left field line. So take all of that into account and you say, if he beats me on my fastball, I tip my hat. If I hang a secondary pitch to him, that's my fault.
Of course, after hitting for Corky Miller, they needed a catcher, and Ramon Hernandez is in there. He's batting in the 8th spot. Their pitcher is batting 2nd.
Need a little luck right here. We need Bernardino to try to pull a ball, get a double. 2nd and 3rd with Desmond coming up.
Bernardino had a big time rip straight back. Well, he's homered in the 9th inning off one hard throwing closer this year. Francisco Rodriguez up in New York. This is Francisco Cordero. The count's 1-2.
Shorten up, though. Be quick. Cordero recognized that he fouled that 96 straight back, so he throws him a breaking ball, but you saw where he threw it. Right down at his ankles. Make a mistake with the breaking ball. Make it down.
Three and two.
Expect another breaking ball. If you'll throw 2-2, you'll throw 3-2.
Bernardino doesn't swing and strikes out.
Well, 3-2. He went away with a fastball. And he gets the low call, which Hernandez hasn't given in the last few innings. Still good location.
Ian Desmond now with 1 out, 1 for 3 with an RBI double. Check swing and a foul.
You did notice where he went on Bernadine. He was thinking if he hits this 96 away, the worst thing that can happen is a double left field.
That's a base hit.
Nice job.
Tying runs on base.
You cannot let Will Nieves hit right here.
And Ian Desmond is 6 out of 12 in this series with 3 consecutive 2 for 4 games. Alberto Gonzalez will be the hitter.
Well, this is just a fight. And you know you're in a fight when Ian Desmond gets up to the plate. It's going to be a tough out. Not just to use his words, that's the way he battles your butt. So now we need a tough at-bat right here with Alberto Gonzalez.
Nationals don't have any left-handed bats remaining. Using Harris and Kennedy earlier. We're talking about a line drive hitter here who's hit 2 career homers in parts of 5 major league seasons.
Well, I'm sure they're just going over Alberto. Cordero hasn't faced him much in his career, so I'm sure they're saying, okay, what does he feature? What should we go after him with? And pretty much going to get fastball slider from Cordero.
Alberto Gonzalez as a pinch hitter this year, 3 for 16 with an RBI.
Well, and if he gets that 96, just slap that sucker in the right field. It was. Actually have Votto playing towards second base. Totally giving up the right field line.
At 20 feet on it.
Tried to go that way. Now you just got to protect. And now your at-bats on the line. Just make some contact. Show Votto. Check him out. He's way up behind him.
Had to swing.
Now you shorten up. You just make contact any way you can.
Mike Morse in the pitcher's spot next. And the runners are going. They both steal, but Gonzalez strikes out. And he threw his bat at a pitch that was way outside. A double steal by the Nats gets the tying run to third base, but 2 outs. And it's up to Mike Morse.
Now it's a nasty slider down and away, so he just tries to protect. And nobody was even covering second, and you saw the veteran move by Brandon Phillips. We talked about this with Christian Guzman earlier. He played defense first, Bob. He wasn't going to get sucked into the hit and run there. So the Reds are trying to do everything fundamentally to try to win this ball game. We have to try to stop it. Let's go, Mo.
Mike Morse as a pinch hitter this year, 2 for 8.
Come on, big fella, shorten up and put the ball in play.
And Morse to right center. This game is tied, and Morse is going to second base. Now Caps is off the hook. Bronson Arroyo loses a win. Cordero blows a save, and it's a 4-4 ball game. By the way, Mike Morse, first 2 RBIs of the year.
Doesn't get a lot of playing time. Still a very solid hitter. And right there, he gets a bat-breaking ball, and he smacks it into right center field. And that is just some tremendous clutch hitting. And now it's Christian Guzman's turn. Let's put this sucker to bed with a win. Well, we're going to miss out and walk him.
Well, they'll face Nigel Morgan. Guzman's run means nothing, and he's one of the top 10 hitters in the league. This is the second walk of the inning. Remember, Cordero walked Josh Willingham to lead off the ninth. That came back to haunt. And it's a 4-4 ball game, so the Reds chartered jet not warming up its engines just yet.
No, they just shut him down. All right, throttle down, throttle back. All right, it's up to Nigel to try to slap something out of the infield. Although be careful, because Nix is cheating way in left field.
He sure is.
So you got to know where your defense is.
Couple of tough-minded ball clubs, huh?
Yeah. Hey, I told you, very similar ball clubs. Neither one wants to quit.
Niger takes a fastball away.
They would say that one had some hair on it.
Well, the Nationals played 4 games in Houston without either closer getting a save. Matt Cap's the only save in this series, and that was Friday. And that's on the inside half. And Niger now has to remember what happened to Roger Bernardino. You cannot end this inning without swinging the bat.
Got to take the bat off the shoulder right here. He went away fastball, came in fastball. Got it, way to protect. Good slider down and in, and Niger got a piece of it. You don't need much. He throws over 90 with both pitches. So you know something hard's coming.
Nationals get 2. This game going to extra innings. Cordero strikes out the side, but gives up 2 runs.
.44 right now, Reds and Nationals. Ladies' Night is back and better than ever at Nationals Park. Thursday, June 10th, the Luau-themed Ladies' Night will include food and drink specials, games, prizes, live music from 4 p.m. until first pitch. Visit nationals.com/Ladies' Night or call 202-632-7649 for your Ladies' Night tickets.
Jamie Burke recalled 2 days ago, and he's in to catch. Jamie's back healthy, started the season on the DL, and he will handle left-hander Doug Slayton here. For the Reds, Votto, Phillips, Bruce. 2 lefties around the right-hander. Top of the 10th, and they go up Hackett. The Reds this year in extra inning games are 4-1. They're 2-0 on the road. The Nationals in extras are 1-4, 1-2 here, and of course the only win
against the Orioles.
Yep. On the Willingham walk-off blast 2 weeks ago.
Now the people that are listening to the game on the way home are going, what happened? We left, it was 2-1, then it was 4-2, and now it's 4-4.
Well, they missed the signals on the Morse code.
5 runs in the 9th inning.
Not too many teams have Johnny Gomes and Scott Rowland on their bench in the 9th.
No, they do not.
And those guys got the job done for Cincinnati.
And how? Double and homer.
Swing and a miss on a good breaking ball, and Slayton does to a left-hander what you're supposed to do, get ahead and get him out with the big hook.
I've told you from day one I like Slayton. He's got good stuff. Now you've got a test here with Phillips the righty, and he got ahead of Votto. Then he dispatched Votto on a great breaking ball down in the dirt away.
Brandon Phillips 1 for 4 today. Base hit last time in the 8th. The only man to reach against Tyler Clippard.
Where's that?
Well, some drama in New York. Marlins had a big lead. The Mets have come back to tie 6-6, bottom of the 8th. And the Padres and Phillies are tied 5-5 in the 7th in Philadelphia. That's Nick Massett, who's been their primary setup guy from the right side lately.
You got him in the Griffey Jr. deal back with the White Sox. Am I correct?
You are. Braves are just underway at Los Angeles behind Tim Hudson.
Kenny Williams told me he did not want to give Massett up, but the Reds would not give them Jr. So it makes the White Sox coveted.
On a hop to Ian Desmond. 2 quick outs here in the 10th.
Hey, and we got a Kennedy at first.
Not a bad idea this time.
All right, you got those first 2 outs. Now you got to go extra hard on Bruce right here.
Come on, Jay.
It'd also be nice because it would bring Nix up to start the next inning if it went that far. Another lefty.
Jay Bruce out 4 times today via Guzman. 3 grounders and a pop-up. And he'll go with the pitch and single to left.
Okay. And he went away, and the guy beat his fastball on the outside. Looks like a broken bat. And even Cordero, when he got beat by Morse, it was away. And he said, okay, what are you going to do right here? And he tipped your hat to the guy. He beat you on something away. You just don't want to hang stuff inside.
Left-hander solves a Nats lefty.
Now 2 very smart at bats right there by 2 different hitters. Younger Bruce went to left, and then an older Nix who's been around in both leagues. Both of them went to left field with the fastball.
2 on, 2 out. Drew Stubbs will be next, and Jim Riggleman will go to a right-hander. Miguel Batista has been warming up. So the Nationals will employ their 6th pitcher of the day, trying to stop the Cincinnati offense. One out of a win. His closer couldn't get it done. Craig Stammen got a no decision when the Nats gave up the lead he had through 6 2/3. And the big blow of this game now, the Mike Morse 2-run pinch double opposite field with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th.
Big Mo, game on the line with 2 outs here. And he gets a pitch that should have been down and away up in the zone. And he beats Cordero and the Reds and ties the ball game on that hit.
First couple of RBIs of the year for the big right-handed hitter. Now Drew Stubbs will be the man faced by Miguel Batista. Came in last night, pitched 1 scoreless inning, drilled Brandon Phillips, thrown out by Joe West, earned the season-long respect of his teammates, and here he is 1 day later.
That's a good club, though, for Miguel. I'm in that Joe West being given the heave-ho. It's a good club. You get a lot of points from your teammates being in that club.
Info, Joe?
Well, no. Protecting your guys and also their reputation. You can't have guys celebrating on your plate.
Well, at least Brandon didn't go back and stomp on the logo.
No. And you know what? He handled it like a man, too. He took the shot and he ran to first base. He didn't have to like it, but, you know, he expected it.
Of course, you know what the Reds are thinking. Best way they can pay this guy back
is to get a hit right here or draw a walk and put him in some miserable conditions. Hernandez on deck, but you got to throw a strike here.
He's fallen behind Stubbs 2-0. Base hit. Jay Bruce is going to score. Bernardino throws the ball away.
Nice stop.
Nearly. And the Reds keep on hacking. 3 consecutive hits after 2 outs. And that run charged to Doug Slayton. It's now 5-4.
And Stubbs went all the way to second.
Second on the throw.
Yes. The runner's running on contact right here with 2 outs anyway. You're not going to throw the ball to the plate. Bernardino throws it halfway up the third baseline. Jamie Burke does a great job. This should be a 6-4 game right now. And that allows Stubbs to go all the way to second base, and now you have 2 more runs out there that would score a base hit.
This is Ramon Hernandez who came in to catch. The Reds have 14 hits today. They had 10 yesterday and 12 on Friday. 36 hits in 3 games.
Miguel fell behind. You know, the worst thing for a reliever is to go 2-0 on a guy. And you have to come around the plate with a pitch, and Stubbs did a nice job of hitting. I mean, look at the 3 guys. All 3 of the hits in this inning have gone the opposite field. We've seen other ball clubs, Bob, they'll be swinging for the downs. They're trying to hit home runs. And the Reds just came up here and slapped 3 hits, and now they have the lead.
They'll have a W posted on the board for the Milwaukee at St. Louis Sunday night game unless the Nats make another comeback. Reds start today a game out in their division. Two and 1. Scott Rowland put him up by 2 with that home run.
I don't think you're pitching around Hernandez to get to Rowland. Smart.
Hernandez 2 for 6 in the series. A couple of hits on Friday night. And Batista loads the bases to face a guy who hit a home run last time up.
Last time up, Matt Capps. That breaking ball. That sucker. For about 7 minutes. Looked like it was going to be a game winner, but Mike Morse came back and did a great job, and now once again you're down a run. Gonna try to minimize damage. Bases loaded, and this guy is just on fire.
Scott Rowland now tied for the league lead in home runs with Milwaukee's Corey Hart, 14. His RBI total shot up to 39 with that blast.
Well, we got to get on the same page here. Just crossed up Jamie Burke. Got behind another hitter.
One of the reasons the Nats were able to be at one point this year 20-15, or at least around the 500 mark for the first 2 months of the season, they never gave away a ball game they led after 8. Now the late innings have become a real problem.
Well, we're getting away from what we were doing for the first 6 weeks of the season, which is attack the strike zone. You're not going to trick major league hitters. Eventually you're going to have to throw something to get hit.
And Rowland was pumping on 2-0.
But you also have to give yourself some credit. You know, if a guy's looking horrible on some swings on your pitches, you don't throw something that might help him. Very nice pitch. Laying on his hands, jammed him. Gonna make a pitch here. 3-2, 2 outs, bases loaded.
All the runners will be moving. Nix at third, Stubbs at second, Hernandez at first. Reds have a run here in the 10th. Roland gets jammed and fouls it away.
He wasn't going to be late on that fastball. Way out in front of it. His best pitch, his sinker.
Jams in, and a fly ball to left for Josh Willingham. Red's gonna run. Ryan Zimmerman, many times early in his career, a walk-off hero. Kennedy and Willingham to follow the Nets, down by 1. Henry, 74 games for the Reds last year, and a really good 2.37 ERA. With infielder Danny Ricard came over for Ken Griffey Jr. in cash, July of 08 after trading Devon. Ryan Zimmerman today, 1 for 4 with a fister, an RBI flare to right field back in the first. That's a two-hopper to the shortstop Cabrera. Next up will be Adam Kennedy, and then Josh Willingham. Adam Dunn taken out for defense for Kennedy in the 9th inning. Cruising, 2 outs. It's up to Josh Willingham, who gave the Nats 2 weeks ago today their last series win with 1 swing in the 9th inning against Baltimore.
Massett's thrown 3 pitches, 94, 95, and 96, all straight over the top fastballs. All 16 of Cincinnati's saves coming into today by
Francisco Cordero, who despite a bad ninth inning stands to be the winning pitcher. 2-0 to Josh.
We need base runners here, especially with 2 outs. Anybody will do, Mr. Willingham.
He's walked 40 times this year, including last inning.
He could get a walk. Maybe Bernardino could get a double, and we could keep this thing going. Massett's not fooling around, Bob. He's just coming right at us. 95, 96. Here it is. Let's see what he can do.
Big man, 28 years of age, 6'4", 235. And a 2-1 to Josh Willingham.
Trying to stay away from that fastball in.
Willingham punches a ball into center field. As we mentioned earlier, 2 very strong-willed ball clubs here. They're battling each other all weekend long. Every game has been up in the air.
Well, fastball's away. This one was a fastball away at about 97, but he went down and he got it and drilled it back up the middle. He keeps the inning alive, and now it's up to Roger Bernardino to make some magic happen here.
Bernardino 2 for 3. 2 singles, a walk, a run scored. Struck out looking last time up.
Before you strike, Roger. Good fastball so far.
That's up and in 2-0.
A slide piece or a cut fastball that he just tried to, can't try to aim it, he tried to get it in there. This is a fastball, man. You got to wail on it. Try to get it out of here.
Oh, boy.
Close, ball 3.
Wow.
The Nationals' best hitter this year with runners in scoring position is next.
This is the 2-0, 96. No, way downstairs. Too much over the top. Not what you want right here. Take another one.
Runner goes, and Roger fouls it, and Willingham will be running again. Down to the final pitch again for the Nats, who tied it last inning with 2 outs on the Mike Morris 2-run pinch double.
Josh getting his cardio in. So 3-2 cut fastball.
There's Mr. Clutch. If the Nats can get it to Desmond. He's had a 6 for 12 series. Bernardino just foul tipped it. Went off the pads of Hernandez. And if he hits a double, Pat Listash may have to carry Josh Willingham home.
Or throw him a bottle of oxygen.
There you go.
Josh is a world-class athlete.
5-4 Reds, bottom of the 10th. Runner at first, 2 outs, and a full count again. Now 2 men on as the Reds walk another man. They've walked 3 in the last 2 innings. And Ian Desmond will get a chance.
Well, and once again, talked about this with some more relievers. Masson's best pitch is fastball. Tried to get some cut fastballs in there, and he walked them on it. A couple of 3-2 cutters.
And a reminder, if Desmond gets more than a single, blinding speed at first base, and the Reds are playing 30 feet off the line and 20 feet behind Roger Bernardino. He can get a huge lead here. Ball 1.
Let's start with a single. Willingham's got to get off.
Bernardino can get twice the lead he's taken. And Desmond reaching on what might have been ball 2. Desmond came into this game today number 9 in the league with runners in scoring position. That's outside, 2-1. Willingham at second. Bernardino, great speed at first.
One of the first 2 hitters, Massett just attacked him with fastballs, and now he's turning into a nibbler on the corners.
Way outside. And if you're wondering about on deck, it's catcher Jamie Burke just called up. Three-one pitch. Desmond takes it. W high on his jersey.
Yeah, it looks like he just took something off the fastball to get it over. So if he does that again, whale him.
Now the runners will be moving, which also helps.
He's got to get off. He's got to be 20 feet off the bag by the time he throws it out. Madison talking to Roger Bernardino over there at first. Three-two pitch. And up the middle it goes. Out at first, the game is over as Ian Desmond reached for a pitch that appeared to be ball 4. The Reds win it. They win the series in 3 hours and 5 minutes today, as Cincinnati dominates the last few innings and wins the ball game. Well, he threw a pitch way outside. Ian tried to make something happen. He dove for first base. Hopefully he did not get hurt. He hit that bag really hard. Nats lose their 5th extra inning game in 6 tries this year, losing it to the Reds 5-4, and Cincinnati wins the series. For Rob Dibble and Debbie Taylor, Bob Carpenter, tune in Tuesday, MASN 2 HD. Steven Strasburg makes his Major League debut against the Pirates. We'll start you at 6 p.m. with an hour-long edition of Nats Extra. This has been a presentation of MASN. Verizon Fios Nats Extra with Johnny and Ray coming up right now from Nationals Park. Reds win the series, day off tomorrow, and Steven Strasburg coming on Tuesday.